Welcome back, everyone, for another deep dive. This time we're going underwater to check out some really cool research on sperm whales.
Yeah, and what's really fascinating here is how they're using some really cutting-edge tech to revolutionize how we study these incredible animals.
Okay, so imagine trying to meet up with a friend in the middle of the ocean,
Oh, wow.
but your friend only comes up for air 10 minutes every hour.
Yeah.
That's kind of the challenge scientists face when they're trying to observe sperm whales.
It's a huge challenge, and that limited surface time makes visual observations really valuable for researchers.
Okay, I'm starting to see the problem.
Yeah, those brief glimpses above water let them validate data from things like tags and acoustic recordings.
So we can get a more complete picture.
Exactly.
So today we're diving into a research article from Science Robotics.
Yeah.
It's called, get this, Reinforcement Learning-Based Framework for Whale Rendezvous via Autonomous Sensing Robots.
Wow, that's a mouthful.
Yeah. It sounds super complicated, but the idea is actually really simple. Using robots to meet up with whales.
Oh, like a whale rendezvous.
Exactly.
And they've given this system a very appropriate name.
Oh,
Avatars.
that sounds pretty cool.
It stands for Autonomous Vehicles for Whale Tracking and Rendezvous by Remote Sensing.
Catchy. Why is this such a big deal?
Well, sperm whales spend most of their lives underwater,
Right.
around 75% to be exact.
Wow.
And research from the Dominica sperm whale project, which has been studying these animals for a long time, found that if there's a gap of over an hour between sightings, researchers are likely to miss an observation opportunity.
So every missed sighting is potentially valuable data lost.
Exactly.
So that's where avatars comes in.
You got it. It basically combines two main parts: sensing and autonomy to try and overcome this challenge.
Makes sense.
So the sensing module uses a drone equipped with something called a synthetic aperture radar, or SAR for short.
SAR, now that sounds high-tech.
It is. Imagine it as a super sensitive radar system that allows the drone to detect the direction of signals coming from tags that are attached to the whales.
So it can pinpoint their location even when they're underwater.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's the sensing part. What about autonomy?
Well, that's where the AI comes in.
Oh, cool.
This module uses a really sophisticated algorithm that looks at data from two sources: acoustic sensors that can hear whale sounds underwater, and VHF sensors that can detect the tags when the whales surface.
So it's like having two sets of eyes, one above water and one below.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. By combining these two data streams, the algorithm can predict when and where a whale is likely to surface.
And then sends that information to the robots.
Exactly. So the robots can be in the right place at the right time to make those crucial visual observations.
But does this actually work in the real world? The ocean can be pretty unpredictable.
That's a great question, and that's exactly what the researchers wanted to find out.
Sure.
So they tested avatars off the coast of Dominica, facing real-world challenges like unpredictable weather, limited sensor range, and of course trying to track these massive moving creatures.
A real test. How did they do that?
Well, they started with what they called an engineered whale experiment.
An engineered whale. Okay, now I'm really intrigued.
Basically, they used a speedboat equipped with a VHF tag and programmed it to move like a sperm whale.
So a controlled experiment to make sure the system is working.
Right. It let them evaluate how well the sensing module could detect the VHF signal and how well the autonomy module could predict where the whale would go.
Clever. And how did avatars do?
Really well, actually. Their
Okay.
VHF direction finding was very accurate, and when they used two robots and 4 different engineered whale tracks, they had a really impressive success rate with the rendezvous.
Awesome. But a speedboat isn't exactly the same as a real whale. Did they test this with actual sperm whales?
Of course. They did another experiment where they tracked 3 untagged sperm whales using only acoustic sensors, so no VHF data to help them out this time.
That sounds like a much tougher challenge.
It was, but they still managed to achieve a really good success rate using 2 robots to track the 3 whales.
Wow. So avatars passed the test, both in a controlled setting and with real whales in the wild? What else did the researchers do to check the system out?
Well, on top of the field experiments, they also ran a ton of simulations.
Okay.
And something called ablation studies to really get a handle on what avatars could do and what its limitations were.
Simulations and ablation studies. Can you break those down for me?
Sure. Think of simulations as a way to create a virtual copy of the real world,
Okay.
allowing researchers to test different situations and push the limits without the constraints of the real ocean environment.
So like a safe space to tinker with the system.
Yeah, exactly. And for the ablation studies, it's kind of like taking a clock apart to see how all the gears make it work.
So they're messing with avatars, taking parts out, or turning them off to see how it affects the whole thing.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
So like figuring out which components are essential and how they contribute to the overall success.
Exactly. And for these tests, they used 15 years of data from the Dominica sperm whale project.
Wow, that's a lot of data.
It is. This let them test avatars under all sorts of conditions, like different sensor accuracies, varying numbers of robots, and even simulating different whale behaviors.
So they really wanted to see what avatars could handle. What did they learn from all of this virtual testing?
One of the main things they found was that combining both VHF and acoustic data when you have it is really important.
Oh, that makes sense.
It's like having two puzzle pieces that create a much clearer picture when you put them together.
So it's all about getting the full picture.
Exactly. They also found that avatars did consistently better than other routing algorithms.
Okay, how come?
Because it was built to deal with the unpredictable nature of whale behavior.
That's a good point. Whales aren't robots, after all. They don't follow set paths.
Right. So avatars has to be able to adapt to their movements.
But let's step back for a second. Why should we even care about robots meeting up with whales? What's the big deal?
Well, this research is about more than just cool technology.
Okay.
It's about getting a deeper understanding of these amazing creatures and ultimately helping to protect them.
So avatars has the potential to, like, supercharge our data collection efforts.
Exactly. Imagine a future where researchers don't have to spend months at sea hoping for a glimpse of a whale.
So we could gather more data, which means a better understanding of their behavior, communication, maybe even their migration patterns.
Precisely. And that knowledge is key for developing effective conservation strategies.
It's about maximizing our understanding so we can better protect them.
Exactly. And the researchers even point out how this connects to other projects like Project CET, which is focused on decoding whale communication.
Oh, wow. I've heard about Project CET. The idea of understanding whale language is mind-blowing. Could avatars play a role in that?
Absolutely. Think about it. The more data we have, the better our chances of cracking the code of whale communication, especially visual observations that we can match up with acoustic recordings.
It's like having the missing pieces to understand a conversation.
Yeah, so we can understand not just what they're saying, but also why they're saying it.
That's incredible. So what's next for avatars? What are the next steps?
Well, the researchers do admit there are still some hurdles to overcome before avatars can be used on a large scale.
No.
For example, the current sensing module has a limited range when it comes to detecting the tags we use now.
I see.
And coordinating multiple robots in real time with constant communication between them and the underwater sensors, that takes a pretty sophisticated setup.
So it's not quite ready for prime time, but the potential is definitely there.
Right.
I can picture a future where fleets of these robot avatars are roaming the oceans, collecting data, and giving us an incredible view into the lives of whales.
And not just whales. This tech could be adapted for studying other marine life, too.
Oh, wow. Like what?
You name it. From elusive deep-sea creatures to the health of coral reefs.
So it could revolutionize marine research as a whole.
Exactly.
That's so cool. Having a global network of these underwater explorers feeding us information about the health and behavior of our oceans.
It's a pretty amazing idea.
It is.
Yeah.
But before we get too carried away with these futuristic scenarios, was there anything in the research findings that really stood out to you?
You know, one thing that really impressed me was how they used real-world data to ground their work.
Oh, yeah.
Using that massive 15-year data set from the Dominica sperm whale project for their simulations and ablation studies really makes their findings a lot stronger.
I see. So it's not just theoretical. It's based on real observations of whale behavior.
Precisely. It shows how much scientific research relies on collaboration and building upon the work of others.
Adding to our knowledge base?
Yeah. It also highlights how important long-term monitoring projects like the DSWP are.
Why is that?
They provide the foundation for these sorts of breakthroughs.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And another thing I liked was that they were upfront about the limitations of their research.
Oh.
They acknowledged that collecting accurate acoustic data in the field can be tough, and that you need specialized equipment and skilled teams to run avatars effectively.
So they're not trying to oversell the technology.
Exactly. They're being honest about the complexities.
I like that. It adds to their credibility.
Right. But even with those challenges, the potential of this technology is undeniable.
I agree.
The researchers actually call these robots science avatars, which I think is a really powerful image.
How so?
They're like extensions of our scientific curiosity, exploring environments that are really hard or even impossible for us to reach directly.
Like sending scouts into the unknown.
Exactly, gathering information and bringing it back to us.
And with each piece of data, we gain a better understanding of these incredible animals we share our planet with.
It's a beautiful thought.
It is.
Hmm.
It also highlights how interconnected everything is, what we learn about whales, their behavior and communication.
Yeah.
It has implications for the health of our oceans, biodiversity, and the delicate balance of our planet's ecosystems.
Absolutely. It's bigger than just whales.
It really is.
Yeah.
This research, while focusing on a specific species, has implications for our understanding of the natural world and our place in it.
It does.
It reminds us that we're all part of this intricate web of life. And the more we learn about other species, the more we learn about ourselves.
Well said. This research is a testament to human ingenuity and our never-ending curiosity about the world around us.
It is.
And it shows the power of interdisciplinary collaboration, bringing together experts in robotics, AI, and marine biology to solve a complex problem that has global implications.
It's pretty inspiring.
It is.
It's a reminder that when we combine our scientific knowledge with tech innovation, we can accomplish amazing things.
Absolutely.
And as we continue to explore the depths of our oceans and the mysteries of whale communication, who knows what other groundbreaking discoveries await us?
That's what makes this field so exciting. It's full of potential and wonder, and this Avatar's research gives us a peek into that future.
A testament to the power of human imagination and our fascination with the natural world.
I think so.
It's an inspiring story of how technology can help us connect with and protect our planet in ways we never thought possible.
It really is.
They're taking it apart to figure out what makes it tick.
Right. And for these tests, they used 15 years of data from the Dominica sperm whale project. It's amazing.
15 years. Wow, that's a ton of data.
Yeah. A treasure trove of real-world whale sightings.
So they had plenty to work with.
They did. This let them test avatars in all kinds of conditions.
Like what?
Well, like different sensor accuracies, you know, different numbers of robots, even simulating different whale behaviors.
So like they really put avatars through the ringer.
Exactly. They wanted to see what it was capable of.
And what did they learn from all this virtual testing? What came out of it?
One of the big findings, I guess, was the importance of using both VHF and acoustic data when it's available.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
It's like having two pieces of a puzzle. You know, when you put them together, you get a clearer picture.
So it's all about getting as much information as possible.
Exactly. They also found that avatars consistently performed better than other routing algorithms.
Interesting. Why is that?
Well, it's because avatars is designed to take into account, like, how unpredictable whales can be.
Right. Whales aren't robots. They don't just follow a set path.
Exactly. So avatars needs to be flexible and adapt to their movement.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But, let's zoom out for a second. Why should we care about robots meeting up with whales?
Yeah.
What's the big picture here?
Well, this research goes way beyond just cool technology, you know? It's about understanding these majestic creatures on a deeper level and ultimately helping with their conservation.
Okay, yeah, I see that. So avatars has the potential to really change the way we collect data.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine a future where researchers don't have to spend weeks at sea hoping to catch a glimpse of a whale.
Right, yeah, that's amazing. So we could gather so much more data, and that means we can understand their behavior better, their communication, even their migration patterns.
Precisely. And that knowledge is essential if we want to come up with effective conservation strategies.
It's about understanding them so we can protect them better.
Exactly. The researchers even highlight how this research links with other initiatives like Project CTI.
Oh, yeah, that's the one trying to decode whale communication, right?
You got it.
That's mind-blowing. I mean, imagine if we could understand what they're saying to each other. Could avatars play a role in that?
Absolutely. Think about it. The more data we have, especially visual observations that we can connect with acoustic recordings, the better our chances of deciphering whale communication are.
So we can understand the context of their communication, not just the sounds.
Exactly. It's like trying to understand a conversation when you can only hear bits and pieces of it, you know?
You need the full picture.
Exactly. The visual cues give us the missing context.
Wow. So it's like we're opening a window into their world.
It is. It's incredible.
So what's next for avatars? What are the next steps in its development?
Well, the researchers do point out that there are still some challenges before avatars can be used on a large scale.
Like what?
Well, for example, the sensing module they're using now, it has a limited range when it comes to detecting the commercially available tags.
Oh, okay. So there's room for improvement there.
Yeah. And then coordinating multiple robots in real time with all the communication between them and the underwater sensors, That requires a pretty robust setup.
So it's not quite ready for prime time just yet.
Not quite, but the potential is definitely there.
Yeah, I can imagine a future where we have these fleets of robot avatars roaming the oceans, gathering data, and giving us an amazing insight into the lives of whales.
Yeah, and it doesn't stop at whales.
Oh, right. You mentioned that.
Yeah, this technology could be adapted for studying other marine life, too.
Like what?
I mean, everything. Elusive deep-sea creatures, the health of coral reefs, you name it.
So it could revolutionize marine research across the board.
Exactly.
Wow, a global network of underwater explorers constantly feeding us information about the ocean.
It's an exciting thought.
It really is. But before we get too caught up in the future, was there anything about the research findings that surprised you?
You know, one thing that stood out to me was how committed they were to using real-world data.
Yeah.
Using that 15-year data set from the Dominica sperm whale project for their simulations and ablation studies, that really strengthens their findings, you know?
So it's not just theory, it's grounded in real observations.
Precisely. It shows how collaborative science is.
Right.
They're building on the work of others and adding to our understanding of these animals.
And it shows how important those long-term monitoring projects are.
Absolutely. They're the foundation for breakthroughs like this.
That's so cool. Anything else?
Yeah, I also really appreciated their honesty about the limitations of their research.
What do you mean?
Well, they acknowledged that collecting accurate acoustic data in the field can be difficult.
Okay.
And they're upfront about the fact that you need specialized equipment and highly skilled teams to operate avatars effectively.
So they're not overselling it.
Exactly. They're acknowledging the complexities.
That's refreshing.
Yeah, it adds to the credibility of their work.
I agree.
It's like they're saying, hey, this is a really promising technology, but there's still a lot of work to do.
And that honesty makes their findings even more convincing.
Exactly. But even with those challenges, you can't deny the potential of this technology.
Absolutely not.
It's amazing. The researchers even call these robots science avatars, which I think is such a cool way to describe them.
I like that. What makes that image so powerful for you?
Well, they're like extensions of us, of our scientific curiosity, you know,
Okay.
venturing into environments that are really hard, if not impossible, for us to access directly.
Like sending scouts into uncharted territory.
Exactly. They gather information and bring it back to us.
And with each piece of data they collect, we learn more about these incredible animals and the planet we share with them.
It's a beautiful thought.
It really is. It also underscores how interconnected everything is. What we learn about whales, their behavior, their communication. It has implications for the health of our oceans, biodiversity, the balance of our entire planet's ecosystems.
You got it. It's much bigger than just whales.
It really is.
Yeah.
This research, while focused on a specific species, has such broad implications for how we understand the natural world and our place in it.
Absolutely. It reminds us that we're all part of this incredible web of life.
Right. And the more we learn about other species, the more we learn about ourselves.
Well said. This research is a testament to human ingenuity
Yeah,
and our endless curiosity about the world around us.
it really is.
And it highlights the power of collaboration between different fields, you know, bringing together experts in robotics, AI, and marine biology to tackle a complex problem with global implications.
Yeah, it's pretty inspiring.
It is. It shows that amazing things can happen when we combine our scientific knowledge with technological innovation.
I agree. And as we keep exploring the depths of our oceans and the mysteries of whale communication, who knows what other groundbreaking discoveries are waiting for us?
That's what makes this field so exciting. It's full of potential and wonder.
It really is. And this Avatar's research gives us a glimpse into that future.
It does.
It's a testament to the power of human imagination and our fascination with the natural world.
Absolutely.
It's an inspiring story of how technology can help us connect with and protect our planet in ways we never thought possible.
I couldn't agree more.
It's amazing to think about the possibilities, with this Avatar's research.
Yeah, it really captures the imagination, doesn't it? Like something out of science fiction, but it's real.
Totally. The researchers call these robots science avatars. What do you think the future holds for this technology?
Ah, that's a big question.
I know, right? But where could these avatars take us?
Well, just imagine a world where these robots are constantly keeping an eye on the oceans.
Like our underwater eyes and ears.
Exactly. A global network of explorers gathering data on everything.
From whale behavior and movement to coral reef health and the effects of climate change.
Exactly. And what if they could analyze all that data in real time?
So they're not just collecting, they're processing and interpreting as they go.
Right. Imagine them using AI to identify patterns and maybe even predict threats.
Like a 247 team of marine biologists constantly analyzing information.
Yeah, that real-time analysis could be so important.
For responding to oil spills, tracking pollution, even seeing how rising temperatures are affecting ecosystems.
So many possibilities.
It's mind-blowing, but also a little bit daunting.
Yeah, I get that.
What about the role of human researchers in all of this?
That's a good question, but I don't think this tech is going to replace humans.
Oh,
I think it's more about giving them a helping hand.
so freeing them up from those time-consuming and sometimes risky data collection tasks?
Exactly. So they can focus on the bigger picture, the analysis, interpretation, and decision-making.
So like giving them superpowers.
Yeah, and it opens up opportunities for researchers all over the world to collaborate.
Sharing data collected by the robots, working together towards a common goal.
A global effort to understand and protect our oceans.
A pretty amazing vision.
It is. Technology helping us connect with and protect our planet in ways we never imagined.
And this Avatar's research is a glimpse into that future.
It really is a testament to human ingenuity and our endless fascination with the natural world.
This has been a really incredible deep dive exploring the world of sperm whales, robotics, and the future of marine research.
It has.
Thanks for joining us on this journey.
And thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed diving into this research with us.